I made this top using the sounds of the ocean, and this is how. This is the literal data of the ocean. It was part of my senior physics capstone project. I wrote a Python script that interprets any MP3 file into an STL using the Fourier Transform. Randomness in computer science is something that's very difficult for us to generate. Sometimes we use like the upper digits of an irrational number with sort of a point and seek algorithm. This one cybersecurity company uses lava lamps and the positions of the goop inside of them. We use background radiation, a bunch of different pseudo-random things like the decay of uranium in order to simulate randomness. This was my exploration into changing context. If you want to make something that looks truly random to our human eyes, you can take data and strip it of its context, and suddenly it's just random noise. So it was my exploration into how context can give us pseudo-randomness. And I went out to the seaside and dressed up to see the ocean, of course. She's a lady. I must show up wearing my best. I recorded a bunch of ocean sounds.
I wanted to go and collect my own data right from the source, so I went on a bristling cold day and collected all of the sounds that I would later put into my Fourier Transform algorithm.
This is a super important algorithm that is used in so many cool ways, and you don't need to really understand math to understand it. This is going to be a very fuzzy, very hand-wavy explanation of the Fourier Transform and how I used it specifically for my art. I am definitely not an expert, so if I get something wrong, please correct me. I want to learn, and I think it's just such a beautiful concept. As soon as I learned about it, I really wanted to make art about it. But okay, what is the Fourier Transform? It's this. And I know it looks like a bunch of jargon and hullabaloo, but trust me, these are just symbols to mean something very elegant. Something that we actually have an intuition for already, and something that nature does by itself. Every wave that you know, your phone call to your mom yesterday, the sounds of the ocean, the sounds that your car makes whenever it's needing repair. Every single wave in the entire universe can be expressed
as a combination of sine waves with consistent frequency.
And you can get an intuition of how you can express this wave as a combination of these waves. You see what I mean? Jelly bean?
If you'd like to get a better intuition for this, I would highly recommend this visualization or the 3 brown 1 blue video that it is based on. It is fantastic.
I might be super wrong about this, but I like to think of the Fourier Transform as like a recipe sniffing dog. Bear with me. You show the dog a little bit of what you're looking for, and then the dog like sniffs it out and is like, and it tells you how much of that compound is in what it's sniffing, okay? You can kind of get a visual understanding of it through this graphic. This is one of my favorite graphics to illustrate the point. It is so visually beautiful. You can see the amplitude clearly comes out as you separate the signal into its component pieces. I love this, and this made it really click into clarity for me. More practically, I was looking at Python's FFT library, and I saw that the output was frequency and amplitude. And I thought if I evaluated the Fourier Transform at every second of the MP3 file, I would have a list of 3-value triplets. And what else is made up of 3-value triplets? 3D models! So I just took frequency, amplitude, time, plugged it right into XYZ. No one can stop me. So it originally in MeshLab starts as just like a list of a bunch of points all together, and through some beautiful math magic, including calculating normals, this is that exact data. I actually cut it in half and like filleted it like a fish.
And then I cleaned it up and morphed it onto a 3D scan of my body, which is so useful for wearable items.
So this is literally holding in your hands the exact data of the ocean, and that's how I did it. It has this beautiful lensing effect because of the resin. I'm absolutely in love with it. I'm really excited to style it. It's just so fun that I get to hold one of my favorite physics lessons as a wearable object. My dream is to have a musician wear one of their songs in some way, like as like a shoe platform or as like a hat or a top, and have like a big sculpture in their house of their own music, something like that. I want them to incorporate the data of their own music into their aesthetic. I think that that would be so cool. I also loved making pieces that are dedicated to other very important sounds, like the first phone call and Stonewall Nation. What do you think? Should I do more pieces inspired by physics concepts, or was this too nerdy? Is this too heavy on the math? Let me know. I love math, even though math doesn't love me. It's unrequited. I'm used to that. I'm definitely not an expert. Please correct me if there are any errors in this. I want to learn. Thank you so much to Tangible Creative, who printed this for me on their industrial resin machines. It is more beautiful than I ever could have imagined it to be, and more ocean-like. Let me know if you have any ideas for what sounds I should visualize, or what other sorts of things I should do with this process. Should I tweak the process? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe. As a newbie on YouTube, I'm still very nervous with this, so please feel free to leave me any suggestions or any other creators that you think are in my niche that you think I could learn from. I would really genuinely appreciate that. And I can't wait to show y'all my next project. See you then!